Hey, what's up guys, it's Bakes here, back again with an episode of my TerraVision reviews. Today I am covering an anthology series, so just covering a singular episode. If you know how I do my anthology series in my TerraVision reviews, instead of talking about the whole season, I just pick out a particular episode. So today's review should be much shorter than my last TerraVision review, where I covered all of Chucky Season 1. I posted that earlier this month, and that video was so fucking long. So this should be much shorter. But the show that I'm talking about today is the Creepshow TV series, and the episode that we're covering is from Season 4. It is Episode 5, the second segment titled Doodles. I guess I should quickly specify for those who don't know, the Creepshow TV series, each episode is made up of two stories. The stories are unrelated, all the episodes are unrelated. So the opening segment in Episode 5 was called Something Burrowed, Something Blue, and then, as I said, we're talking about the second segment here titled Doodles. Each segment is roughly like 20-25 minutes, something like that. I watched both of them back to back because it's easier, but like I said, just talking about Doodles in particular today, that sounds really fucking weird, but the episode Doodles, I'm just going to leave it there. I've got all 4 seasons of Creepshow. I've seen all of Season 1, pretty sure I've seen all of Season 2. I feel like I've seen probably half of Season 3. I'd never seen a single episode of Season 4, so I was super excited to get around to watching this episode. And it's actually kind of fitting that we're talking about Creepshow in today's TerraVision review because recent news, like only from a couple of days ago, Creepshow was not renewed for a Season 5, which is a bummer because honestly it was a very good modern horror anthology show, which we don't get a lot of nowadays. It had a lot of like charm and fun, and yes, maybe it was a little bit lower budget, but just it had a lot of things going for it. It was running on Shudder, so you never know, it might come back at some point in the future, but for now they've cancelled it after the 4th season. Like I said, I've got all 4 seasons on DVD, so I'm excited to get through the show and I guess catch up before Season 5 ever comes out, if it does. But let's get into the plot of, like I said, Season 4, Episode 5, Segment 2, titled Doodles. So in this episode, our lead is a cartoonist. She's trying to get a job in this magazine. She's trying to get her drawings published, and things are just going against her, as in people are sort of stabbing her in the back or mistreating her in some way. And sort of the best way to describe this episode, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. It's pretty much the concept of like Death Note, I guess, but instead of writing, it's drawing. So she'll get a picture of her victim, draw something on them or something happening to them, and then that actually happens to them in real life. I guess I'll get into a description as I get further into today's review, but eventually with all this going on, things start to go her way and power starts to go to her head, and like all good Creepshow or anthology horror episodes do, it ends with a little twist and getting your comeuppance and whatever. But that's pretty much the plot for the episode Doodles, so let's get into my thoughts of it. So like I was saying in the intro, like always with majority of Creepshow episodes, at least, or the ones that I've seen, the tone of this episode just fits the show really well, where it's like fun, it's got like this eerie kind of spooky feel, but it plays into the charm and cheesiness of it. It just brings like this classic twisted fun that you sort of come to expect with the Creepshow TV series. If you've seen any of the Creepshow TV episodes or even the movies, like you kind of know the feel of what to expect. And again, this episode does not miss that beat. It feels like everything that I've seen before in previous seasons, because like I said, I'd never seen any episodes from Season 4 prior to this. So it was nice to know that the tone and feel was continuing on with Season 4 here. But in particular, like some characters in this episode really play into their roles. Most of the time it's like side characters, and these side characters, you know, I can see a lot of people saying, oh, it comes across as cheesy or they're really hamming it up, and they are, but it just suits the tone of the episode so well. Like one of the side characters that comes to mind in particular is like the CEO of this magazine company. He's the one assessing our lead and looking through her sketchbook and deciding if she's going to get the job or not, and he's hamming it up, but he's playing it to a T. Like he's flipping through the sketchbook and he's like flick, and he's just doing it so over the top. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's playing the role exactly how it needs to come across, and as I said, I know it could put a lot of people off, but I just think it suits the tone of the show really well, so I really enjoy that. With the concept of this episode, like I went through with the plot description, I feel like there was a big opportunity to really play into the kills, and in particular the gore. You know, when you've got this idea of like whatever you draw will happen to the victims, you're like, okay, this could be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, first of all, there's not a lot of kills in this episode, which I would have been fine with just because it's a short runtime anyway. I know there's not going to be, 50 plus kills or anything like that. But I just feel like a lot of the kills in this one could have been played off better, and again, maybe even added some more gore. I wish there was more of like a Final Destination feel with the kills, because the kills that we get in this one, like, it's not really a spoiler. I think there's like 3 or 4 kills in this episode, and it's either seeing the aftermath of the kill or the kill happens off screen. And like a good example is like, again, I'm not trying to spoil, it's not really much of a spoiler, but one of like the victims, she draws a picture, like there's a picture of her victim in this magazine. She scribbles out her eyes and she draws rats next to her, and then through the night, she dies, and she's reading this article the next morning, and it turns out she was like in the subway, tripped and fell, and these rats ate her eyes out. And you're like, okay, I want to see a flashback of that happening. Like, I want to see like the trickle effect of how death came for this victim and took her out. But instead, she's like I said, reading this article, and you see like this measly little picture on the phone, and you're just kind of like, ugh. Like, I want to see more gore, I want to see that kill go down. And unfortunately, it doesn't really play like that through the majority of the episode. There's one like really cool, bloody, gory kill in this episode, but I wish more of them were like that. But the kills like aren't the worst. It's not the biggest problem. Our lead in this episode is really likable. She's got like this soft, pure, like, I don't even know another word to describe it. Like, almost like cute. Like, she's cute to look at, but she's just like, she's very just like pure and bright and everything. And, she's like that type of person that wouldn't harm a fly. And I really like that approach with this episode, because I feel like, a lot of other horror TV or movies that have done this concept, like, our lead is this very ambiguous person where, like, they teeter. She is, like, so nice. She's the nicest fucking person ever. So, like I said, she's very likable. But then it sort of goes into this direction in the final act. The first 2 acts, she's like that. But then when it gets into the climax, she does this complete flip that sort of throws me off. She does, like, this complete 180 into insanity. And I never really felt like she was reaching a tipping point. So I guess I should explain a little bit. So the first, I'd say 2 victims, like the first time that she kills someone by drawing something on them, which happens to be the rat victim that I was talking about in the subway, she doesn't know that she has this power. She is just sketching over this person because this person done her wrong. So she's just taking out her frustrations. She doesn't know something's going to happen. And even when it does happen, like, she goes, that's really weird because that's kind of like what I drew. But she doesn't know it's official. It just might be a crazy coincidence. And then the second time around, it feels like she's just taking out frustrations. She's not intentionally doing it. So you still kind of have sympathy for her by this point. But then when it gets to the third victim and we're in our climax and everything, there was no tipping point of her like going insane until this final conflict happens. And it just feels a little bit out of place for her character. Especially when her final victim, by the way, is another really likable character who she spared earlier, to be fair, in a lesser fate and with lesser consequences, but she spared this person earlier. And then when the slightest thing goes wrong, where I feel like she could have explained, it is a coincidence, or this weird thing is happening to me, she just goes completely insane, and it just felt a little bit out of place for her character. And I would have liked to see it continue with the approach it had before, where it's like this person who feels way out of place, like, with this ability that she now has and everything. Like, how's she going to go about it? Because like I said, we've seen this before in other movies and TV and everything before, but it's always this morally ambiguous character where it's like, okay, what are they thinking? Early on, that she's like very uncomfortable with this and it's disturbing her and whatever, but she just happens to get good opportunities because of these people getting taken out. So I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one with her character, but overall, like, the episode is fine. Like I said, majority of episodes end with, like, a little twist or getting your comeuppance, and the twist in this one, again, is fine. It's not one that will really stick with you, and it is, like, a little bit cheesy, but it's also fun, and again, with it being cheesy and fun, it just plays into the charm, so it's okay. And I guess that's probably the best way to describe this segment in general. It's okay. It's passable. It's not the best Creepshow episode that I've seen. Also not the worst. It's a pretty consistent show, to be completely honest with you. I'm going to give Doodles from Season 4, Episode 5, Segment 2, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Like, it's perfectly fine. It's watchable. Yeah, you have nitpicks with it, but again, when an episode runs for 25 minutes, it's not going to get carried over into the next. It's just an anthology show. For the 25 minutes that you're watching it, it captures your attention. It's nothing offensively bad. Yes, there's some things that I wanted more kills, more on-screen kills, more gore. Her character just felt a little bit out of place at times, but again, at the end of the day, nothing offensive. It's perfectly fine. So I'm going to leave it there for today's TerraVision review. Reminder, guys, that through October, I'm going to be doing the 31 Days of Horror again. I've posted a film lineup, which I don't normally do, so you guys can follow along with me. Check that out in my YouTube shorts if you haven't, or just go into the 31 Days of Horror blind like you normally would. That's fine too. But yeah, all through the month of October, 31 horror movies watched and reviewed over 31 days. So stick around on my channel for that. And thank you for joining me for this episode, guys. I'll see you for another one soon. Peace.